What's up, friends? Welcome back to the SWG podcast. It's been a while since I've talked to you all. I haven't done a audio cast in a while, pretty much ever since the COVID-19 pandemic started. It has put a bit of a damper on production, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I've been thinking about this for the last 4 weeks. We are I think, towards the end of the 4th week of the COVID-19 lockdown. Everybody's quarantined here in Los Angeles, the greater LA area. And it's been tough. It's definitely a culture change. It's funny when I think about how it's changed the SWG podcast and all of the material. In some ways it's been very interesting and informative, and in a lot of ways it's just been completely turned on its head. The SWG podcast really started as my commitment, or as a big manifestation of my commitment to really focusing and pursuing the next level of strength, wellness, and growth. And so the podcast was designed to be the culmination of all of those efforts, from my personal development and fitness and health and mental well-being, and started out the year really strong with a lot of really great habits, and wanted to bring it to all of my friends and community with the SWG podcast. And so much change real fast, almost overnight it seems. My daily routine was completely changed. A big part of my strength and my source of power, I would say, came from my daily rituals related to wellness and personal development, starting with no more gyms. I remember when we first found out that everything was shutting down, I still went to the gym that morning. I always remember my wife rolled over when I got up at my usual 3 a.m. to start working on projects, and then usually I would work on projects, and then I would go to the gym by 4:30 in the morning. And she rolled over and she said, the gyms are closed now. And I didn't believe her, so I did my normal thing, started work, and then got in my car and drove to the gym, only to find out that it was closed. And then I thought, well, this can't last that long. And luckily, I have a gym in my community, and was able to use the gym that day. And then the next day, they announced that even that little gym in our community was closed. So that completely changed the early morning routine. It completely changed my ability to do my evening workouts, obviously. Had to adapt to that. And a big part of the morning routine was not only training my body, but training my mind. I really relied on that early morning time, quiet time to myself to really be creative, work on creative projects, get ahead on work projects, and most of all, that was my time to really study and to train both my body and mind, and that completely changed. So that's been a huge adjustment. And then, of course, the podcast, that slowed down. Luckily, I recorded a couple really long video podcasts and audio podcasts with guests on the podcast. So that's kept me busy with editing those, and one particularly long one with my good friend Minwa, who is a realtor. We did a longer episode talking about real estate investing and investing in general, pretty much the week and just days before all of this COVID-19 stuff really blew up. And so that was one of the last podcasts I did with an in-person guest. And it was interesting because we were talking about how the coronavirus could impact investing, and it certainly did. It had some big impacts in investing. I was right at the beginning of forming a new company that was going to be my vehicle for investing in real estate. And that got put on the back burner. That's now not happened. It's on pause. I'm being conservative, so I'm trying to not make any big business decisions just yet until everything becomes a little bit more certain. So that was a little disappointing because I was really excited about that. I had some podcast episodes that I'd recorded talking about the process of starting that company and what those investments would look like. So that's been put on hold. Obviously, in-person podcasts have stopped, except Minois and I did a follow-up episode, and we probably will do some more talking about real estate and the impact that the COVID-19 quarantine has had on real estate. My main business is real estate development, and so the company I'm with, we own several hundred units here in Southern California, and we're working on more units in other states, and we specialize in low income and affordable housing, and we do a lot of work with housing the formerly homeless community. So that has absolutely seen an impact in many ways from all of the COVID-19 quarantine, in that a lot of the social services organizations that we work with on a day-to-day basis, they've been shut down. Of course, when you're working with low-income and affordable housing, you do a lot of business with the local governments, and they've been shut down. So although they're all still working remotely, it has absolutely had an impact on the productivity level and the speed by which we're used to things happening. I still report to my office every day for a couple reasons. One, I do think that my work is definitely essential in helping the community. Our organization is also working on several large projects where we will be able to greatly impact the community with some community and local business impact programs that we're developing, where we'll be able to lend to small businesses and families who are experiencing financial hardship due to the COVID-19 crisis. So I do still report to my office in Long Beach, California, partially also because, my wife works from home now, and so I want to give her space to do her job, and to be quite honest, it's also nice to be able to get out and still do my work, although I'm just sequestered in my office, and we have a very small office, so there isn't much staff in the office, so I think it's safe. And we've developed, luckily, a lot of technologies over the past 12 months that automate a lot of the systems for our business, so we are still able to function without having to have direct contact with the public. So I guess we were a little bit ahead of the curve with that, and so our work continues. But yeah, it's definitely been a huge adjustment, and I think it's more important now than ever to have those daily obligations, and to meet those daily obligations that you've set for yourself as related to your strength, wellness, and growth. So I have found creative ways, and luckily there's a lot of creative people out there on social media educating us on how to maintain physical activity without having access to a gym. There's still plenty of workouts you can actually do in-home with minimal equipment. And so I still make sure I do my early mornings, not quite as early as before, but I still get up early, still before the sun. I still start working on creative projects and work projects. Then I take Luna, our little dog, for her morning walk, and then I do my workouts at home with the equipment that I've put together. And for the most part, I'm still able to maintain the fitness level that I wanted to. So that's still there. And then when we're dealing with uncertainty, and you can certainly get down and feel, a little afraid, a little depressed here and there, that's another reason why I think it's very important to maintain the disciplines that we've set forth. So I still make sure that I'm getting my regular study in every single day. So strengthening my body, strengthening my mind, and then meeting those daily obligations, which is why I try to maintain the podcast. I try to maintain the music aspect of the podcast, which is the Night Law Mix series, because I think creative expression is just as important for your wellness as your physical training and your mental training. And then making sure that I keep sending the messages out that I do for strength, wellness, and growth in social media. And that's also, it's mainly for myself, although I think the messages and the material that I put out are beneficial to the public. I think it's equally important to hold yourself to maintaining those standards and keeping a sense of normalcy in your life in these uncertain times. I think that's especially important because it is definitely easy during these times to slide into bad habits or out of your wellness routines or the behaviors that keep you sane, healthy, and so maintaining the routine really helps with that anxiety and the depression and the uncertainty. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I've been partially wanting to also see how this would play out and how long this would be going on, and it just seems like it could end soon. It may not end soon. So I think these are the times that you could either not do anything, stop your productivity, and let the anxiety sink in and take effect, or you could make this one of those moments, one of these periods in your life where you look back years from now when this is all over and think, when we were faced with that crisis, when I was faced with that crisis, my friends and family were faced with that crisis, I persevered, I pushed through, I maintained a positive attitude, and most importantly, I maintained the positive behaviors that promote strength, wellness, and growth. So that's it for today, my friends. I hope you're all well out there. I can't wait to see my friends again and start to talk to people in person again. So as always, until next time, my friends, be safe out there, take care, and I will talk to you all soon.